Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile. Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile, also called the Brave, who is considered among the greatest of the medieval Spanish kings, was also a supporter of the Abbey of Cluny, and did much to organize the pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela. 13. The Kingdom of Leon continued to be the most important of all those of the Iberian Peninsula. However, Alfonso VI's grandfather, Sancho III of Navarre, c. 994–1035, also known as Sancho the Great, the great-great-grandson of Abdurrahman Ii's Aunt Tota, took over Castile in the 1020s, and managed Leon in the last year of his life, leaving Galicia to temporary independence. Sancho III took the throne in 1004, as the Muslim Caliphate of Al-Andalus was descending into a chaos of internal rivalry between taifas. In the history of the Iberian Peninsula, a taifa was an independent Muslim-ruled principality. However, instead of waging war against the Muslims, Sancho III set out to dominate the Christian principalities of Hispania. Sancho III was the king of Pamplona from 1004 until his death in 1035. He also ruled the county of Aragon and by marriage the counties of Castile, Alava and Monzon. He later added the counties of Soberb, 1015, Ribagorza, 1018, and Cea, 1030, and would intervene in the Kingdom of Leon, taking its capital city of Leon in 1034. The Kingdom of Aragon, which started off as an offshoot of the Kingdom of Navarre, was formed when Sancho III decided to divide his large realm among all his sons. Sancho's eldest son, Garcia Sanchez III of Pamplona, c. 1012–1054, inherited the dynastic rights over the crown of Pamplona, becoming feudal overlord over two of his brothers, the illegitimate Ramiro I, before 1007–1063, who was given lands that would serve as the basis for the Kingdom of Aragon, and Gonzalo, c. 1020–1043, who received the counties of Soberb and Ribagorza. Likewise, he had some claim to suzerainty over his brother Ferdinand I, c. 1015–1065, who under their father had served as Count of Castile, nominally subject to the Kingdom of Leon but brought under the personal control of Sancho III. Genealogy of Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile. Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile plus Constance of Burgundy, niece of Hugh of Cluny. Urraca plus Raymond of Burgundy, cousin of Henry of Burgundy. Alfonso VII of Leon and Castile plus Berenguela, daughter of Ramon Berenguer III, Count of Barcelona. Sancho III of Castile plus Blanche of Navarre. Alfonso VIII of Castile plus Eleanor of England, sister of Richard the Lionheart. Berengaria, Queen of Castile plus Alfonso IX of Leon. Ferdinand III of Castile. Urraca, Queen of Portugal plus Afonso II of Portugal. Blanche of Castile plus Louis VIII of France. Ferdinand II of Leon. Alfonso IX of Leon plus Berengaria of Castile. Ferdinand III plus Elizabeth of Swabia. Alfonso X, El Astrologo. Sancho IV, had affair with Jewess. Ferdinand III plus Joan, Countess of Ponthieu. Eleanor plus Edward I of England, who issue edict of expulsion. Alfonso VII of Leon and Castile plus Richeza of Poland. Sancha plus Alfonso II of Aragon. Urraca plus Alfonso I the Battler of Aragon and Navarre. Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile plus Jimena Muñoz. Teresa plus Henry of Burgundy, cousin of Raymond of Burgundy. Alfonso I of Portugal plus Maud of Savoy. Afonso II of Portugal plus Urraca, D of Alfonso VIII of Castile. Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile plus Zaida of Seville, refugee Muslim princess. Elvira of Castile plus Roger II of Sicily, Jolly Roger. Ferdinand I of Leon, Alfonso VI's father, was a leading figure of the Reconquista in the mid-11th century. Ferdinand is known to have taunted the Muslims by stating, as retold by Muslim chroniclers, "We demand our land, which a long time ago you conquered and which you have inhabited for as long as had been ordained by God. Now he has given us victory over you on account of your wickedness. Depart to your own shores of North Africa and give our land up to us. For there is no good in your living with us any longer, nor will we turn away from you until God has judged between you and us. 14. In the 1050s and 1060s, Ferdinand I of Leon launched raids against almost every major Muslim kingdom, forcing them to recognize his rule and pay tribute. Ferdinand's expansion also received the approval of the papacy in Rome, which, according to Ketlos, was beginning to coalesce as an imperial authority, and new reform movements, notably the Burgundian monastic order of Cluny, were endowing it with an ideological and institutional coherence it had lacked in the past. 15. As explained by Ketlos. Knowing to back a winner, the Church supported Fernando's claims of sovereignty over the entire peninsula, and the clergy, particularly those associated with the papacy and Cluny, actively promoted the notion of a Christian reconquest and the cult of Saint James the Muslim killer. In return, and to the growing alarm of the native Spanish clergy, Fernando supported the papacy and the Cluniac order with donations of cash, land, and positions of influence. For all that, Saint James served as the angelic agent only for Castile Leon. On those occasions that knights from rival Aragon, Catalonia, and Portugal received divine assistance in battle, it was Saint George who served as their Muslim killer. 16. It was Sancho III who first recognized the political advantage of allying with the Catholic Church and with Cluny, and seeking the military support of the Frankish lands. It was under his reign, recounts Ketlos, that ordinary northern Europeans became exposed to the allure of Islamic Spain via the pilgrimage route to Santiago de Compostela, which ran through the breadth of his lands, and the notion that it was God's will they bring it under their power. 17. Sancho III invited Cluniac monks to Spain, and Cluny in return received and trained Spanish monks. Sancho's three sons, Ferdinand I of Leon, Garcia II and Ramiro I of Aragon, continued the tradition. 18. The driving force behind the Cluniac monastic movement during the last quarter of the 11th century, which had priorized throughout southern France and northern Spain, was Hugh of Cluny. Ferdinand I undertook to grant an annual census or tribute to Cluny of an enormous sum of 1,000 gold pieces. That was later doubled by his son Alfonso VI in 1077. His son Alfonso VI referred to the so celebrated, so tested, so holy religion of the monastery of Cluny and requested the society of the monks fighting for God and Saint Peter in that place in a charter of 1090, doubling the annual subsidy, and introduced the Roman ritual at Hugh's request. 19. At most of its likely collected from tribute paid by Muslim Taifa kingdoms, and allowed Hugh of Cluny to embark on a major building program at Cluny, including from 1088, the third church. 20. Bernard of St. Blaise, writing in Germany towards the end of the 11th century, described Alfonso VI as Catholic in faith and an obedientiary of the abbot of Cluny in way of life, and also said, after describing his wars against pagans, restorations of churches and building the great church at Cluny, that he would have become a monk there if the Lord Abbot had not considered it better for him to remain for the time being in the secular habit. 21. Known as Cluny III, it was to remain the largest building in Europe until the 16th century, when the new St. Peter's in Rome was rebuilt. Seen as an example of the excesses of the Ancien regime, the monastic buildings and most of the church were destroyed during the French Revolution. Most prominent of all the Cluniacs was Bernard of Sidirach, c. 1050–1125, who was named for the Archbishopric of Toledo by Alfonso VI of Castile, the great patron of Cluny, after the conquest of that city. Bernard had become a monk at Cluny, after which he was sent to Spain with others to assist the reforms of Pope Gregory VII. Cluniacs were appointed to sees in Braga, Burgo de Osma, Palencia, Segovia, Sigüenza, and Valencia. The Cluniacs were joined from the 1140s by the white monks of the Cistercian order, who with royal and aristocratic patronage, established numerous monastic houses in the Christian kingdoms of northern Iberia and came to play a leading part in the colonization and repopulation of liberated lands. 22. Alfonso VI's brother, Sancho II of Castile, 1036-1038, 1072, wanted to reunite the kingdom of his father and attacked his brothers, with the famous Rodrigo Diaz, later known as El Cid, at his side. Born a member of the minor nobility, El Cid was brought up at the court of Ferdinand I and served Sancho II. El Cid rose to become the commander and royal standard-bearer of Castile upon Sancho's ascension in 1065. El Cid went on to lead the Castilian military campaigns against Sancho's brothers, Alfonso VI of Leon and Garcia II of Galicia, as well as in the Muslim kingdoms in Al-Andalus. Sancho II was killed in the siege of Zamora and his brother Alfonso VI took over Leon, Castile, and Galicia. As king, Alfonso VI conquered the powerful Taifa kingdom of Toledo in 1085. Toledo, which was the former capital of the Visigoths, was a very important landmark, and the conquest made Alfonso renowned throughout the Christian world. Alfonso's more aggressive policy towards the Taifas worried the rulers of those kingdoms, who called on the African Almoravids for help. The Battle of Sagrajas, also called Zalika or Zalika, was a battle of 1086 against the Almoravid army led by Yusuf ibn Tashfin. Alfonso VI reached the battleground with some 2,500 men, including 1,500 cavalry, in which 750 were knights, some of whom were Jewish 23 but found himself outnumbered. At one point, Alfonso's army contained 40,000 Jews, who were distinguished from the other combatants by their black and yellow turbans. So honored were the Jews to the Spanish army that the Spanish chose not to engage in battle until after the Sabbath had passed. Before the battle, Alfonso VI sent not only for the bishops, but for the Jewish scholars and astrologers as well, to hear their predictions for the outcome. 24 Ibn Tashfin is reputed to have offered three choices to the Castilians: convert to Islam, to pay tribute, jizya, or battle. Castile suffered almost no loss of territory and was able to retain the psychologically important city of Toledo, occupied the previous year. However, the Christian advance was halted for several generations while both sides regrouped. Alfonso VI was tolerant towards the Jews, for which he won the praise of Pope Alexander II. Soon after coming to power, he offered the Jews full equality with Christians and even the rights offered to the nobility to win the wealthy and industrious Jews against the Moors. Jews prospered under Alfonso VI, and by 1098, nearly 15,000 Jews were living in Toledo, a city of 50,000. 25 To show their gratitude to the king, the Jews willingly placed themselves at his service. The king's favoritism toward the Jews became so pronounced that Pope Gregory VII warned him not to permit Jews to rule over Christians and roused the hatred and envy of the latter. 26. Construction of the present Santiago de Compostela Cathedral began in 1075 under the reign of Alfonso VI and the patronage of Bishop Diego Pérez. Though a few pilgrims to Santiago are recorded in the 10th century, and many more in the 11th, it was in the early 12th century, and particularly under the promotion of Archbishop Diego Gelmire, 1100 to 1140, that Santiago came to rank with Rome and Jerusalem as one of the great destinations of medieval pilgrimage. The first cathedral was built over the site of the tomb, and gradually houses were established, for example by monks from Cluny in Burgundy and from Aurillac in Cantal, France, along the developing pilgrimage route.